Right, it's been a while since I've done a video because I had my little accident. I don't remember if I've actually, I think I did a video after I did my thing. I just recently, I'm sure I did. Did I or did I not? But anyway, we're going to do a Lego set tonight because I don't feel like doing anything else and it's a new one. And I'll describe what I've done, my accident, as we do this. So I've never done a Brick Headz. It's like trying to think, what are they called? What are they called? If only I could read the words. They are upside down for me, so give me a second. So this is a Halloween set, and that's important because the reason I have this is that they were on special because it is no longer Halloween. So if you're wondering, why did you not get this one for Halloween? I like the fact that it's seasonal number 31 for October the 31st. It looks quite cool, and it's got like accessories. Like I think I've never done a Brick Headz, and I'm always thinking, well, you don't really get that much, do you? But it's quite. I mean, it feels heavy, not that heavy though. But with a few accessories, it makes it seem worth it, and it wasn't too bad a price. It was actually at a price that if that's what Brick Headz were, I'd probably buy a lot more, but they're a little bit more than that. I'm not going to say what the price is, because what does it matter? Like in your currency, it may mean something completely different. So let's open this up, and so before I should have looked at this. The bunny would have been neat, and the bee, which is for Valentine's Day, which I think is an odd thing. Like I don't really relate bees to Valentine's Day. I mean, I got stung a few while ago. I think I mentioned that by a bee in the chest, and that, which is actually when you think about it, that's where your heart is. So I got stung in the chest by a bee. So that was very Halloweeny, not Halloweeny, Valentine's Day in October. I think it was in October. It was only like a few weeks ago. Didn't take long to clear up though, which was nice. So this is the witch. So I like a little apron thing. All right. So have a good look at the picture. Look real close. Yeah. We should be doing advent calendar stuff, but I don't know where I put the one that I had. So maybe I should buy another one. Well, it's getting a bit late. Well, if I buy one now, they probably cost less because, you know, December has started. So I have to do a catch-up thing. Technically, last year, when I first started this, I only started on December the 4th. So there's still time. I'll go see if they've dropped in price for some weird reason tomorrow. Actually, I should have gone... Oh, I should have gone to... Oh, whoops, too late. For those Black Friday sale things. Anyway, let's open these bags up. There's quite a few pieces, quite a few. So if you're watching this and you've done these, hold on. I'm sorry if this is not going to be as exciting as it is for me. Though it is quite cool getting these colours. This is very elves set colour pieces for these. If they have these at the pick and mix, I'll be over the moon. I think I've mentioned that. That's what I'm really holding out for. Alright, so that's everything. So this might take the full half hour. It's just not good because I'm feeling a bit tired. So many videos I have to do and haven't quite been feeling enthused for it. Well, I do have another pick a brick thing to go through, which I was going to do tonight because in fact I got that before I got this. But I thought, what the heck? I haven't actually done a Lego set for a while. I haven't finished that robot thing. That wasn't that exciting, but I will finish it. I just going to do it tomorrow. Yeah, so what happened is I went for a run. I mentioned this, didn't I? I'm just going to say it again. Went for a run and tripped over, like running past a tree and a car. No, there was a truck parked on the footpath, and I was running past it, and I had to go up onto the grassy bit to get past. I'm like, well, I've got to find another piece. Now I've done the whole thing, and then what are these pieces? This story's gonna take a while. Well, look at this piece. Have I had these before? Have I mentioned these before? I don't think I've ever had this. I guess is a common Block Headz piece. There's quite a few of them in here, isn't there? So there you go. I'm excited by that. People watching this are like, well, we've already seen that. We've already had one of these before. Why are you making such a big thing about it? But one of these with them on the corners, a corner one. So that's nice. So yeah, I was running along, and there was a truck parked on the footpath, and so I had to go up on the grassy bit by a tree. And I was thinking as I was doing this, because I'm running a different style at the moment. This is gold. Alright, these are the gold things. You're supposed to build it over here first and not on the thing. Well, too late. I'm building it on this thing. I don't care what they say. Really don't. You can't tell me what to do. Instructions. But anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So I ran up, and I was thinking to myself, because I'm running a different style when I'm running on my heel of my foot primarily, and perhaps I was actively trying to do this, and it feels like a less stable way to run because you don't quite have the spring. And like I was running over this sort of, because it was like next to a tree and there were roots in the ground and it was all a little bit uneven. And I'm like, well, you've got to be real careful here because I'm not running my normal way, and this is just, I've got to be real careful not to slip over or anything like this. And guess what? I got all the way through and I didn't slip over. But when I came out the other side, I was all like, oh, there you go, that was fine. And I was running along, and it was actually this sort of, the footpath had construction work or something on it, and it was covered in gravel and rocks. And then I just slipped over on one of the rocks by landing on my heel of my foot. And then I just sort of, it twisted really quite badly, and I ended up falling onto the ground, which is not usual. When I twist I missed out the piece in the middle. When I twist my ankle usually, I don't think I've ever actually fallen over because of it. I normally just twist it and then jump up and down. And I've got to do two at once. I'm completely doing this in the wrong order. Yeah, and then I just fell over and I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. So I got a bit cut up on one side, and on the other side I had a very, very sore ankle. And in fact, when I fell on the ground, I was like, oh, well, this is it. This is it. This is the time that I can't get up and I'm going to have to get some help or call an ambulance or something like that, even though I forgot to bring my cell phone. But after a few moments, I did manage to pull myself up and get going. So I don't know which if I've got the right angle. So I got to look at this picture here. So it's supposed to look like, oh, I've done it wrong. No, I haven't. It's supposed to look like that. Okay, it looks like this. Is that making sense? Makes sense. All right. And then I'm meant to flip it over, and it's meant to look like that. And then this one's meant to. Oh yeah, there we go. That makes sense, I think. And yeah, so I did manage to limp all the way home, and because I wasn't too far away from home. And I bumped into my neighbor on the way, and she was all like, oh my goodness, look at your leg. And I'm like, looking at my arm, because my arm was covered in blood, and there was blood all over my legs. And like, oh, I can't really feel that. Wasn't really paying attention to that. It's like, oh yeah, well that doesn't matter. That's beside the point. But they didn't quite see it that way. But I was like, no, that's the least of my concerns. It's more my ankle, which you can't really see. But the first thing I did when I got home was, in fact, clean and put bandages on my wounds. So, and then I was like, ooh, and I went to take my shoe off, and I'm like, ooh, that's quite swollen, isn't it? I don't think I've ever had a swollen leg before. So it's definitely a learning experience. The last time I twisted my ankle, I don't think it swelled up at all, or if it did, it was very, very minor. And so that was a bit of a shock. And then when I took my shoes off, it just got a bit bigger. And then the next day I continued on and went to work and cycled and limped around a lot. And cycling wasn't too bad. It was just starting and getting up and on the pedals and kicking off, which is difficult. And so that was fine. And then then the day after that, it was, because this happened on Thursday, which was last week. And the day after that, it was much better. I was like, yay, it's getting better. Not perfect, but I can move around and I can do stuff, and it looks like it's going to heal up. And then of course I, in the evening, went to did stuff and took my shoes. In fact, I think that must have been the last time I did a video, because I remember doing the video and I don't remember talking about that as much as I have. And yeah, and then after I did all that and did some few other things, and then I went and took my shoes off, and it was huge. It's like ballooned even more, and I was like so much water, and I was like, oh, freaking out. I was like, well, is this supposed to be like this? But I didn't really think it was going to be that bad. And then I went to the doctor's the next day and sat around, because it was the A&E on a Sunday morning, and spent many hours, literally like 2 or 3 hours, finally getting like to see a doctor and just to say, is this okay? Like, is it fine? Is this not like, you know, is this like, I can feel a lot of water in here. It feels like it's just someone's opened a tap and it's filling up with water, and I'm just worried it's going to explode and get water everywhere. And I've already had like plumbing concerns, and so I don't want to have any more. I didn't actually say it like that, of course, because why would you? But it was all like, yeah, you're fine. Have an X-ray just for the heck of it, and of course there's nothing wrong. I didn't break a bone. The doctor said something like, "Well, you've broken a bone before, right?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I haven't broken a bone before." So I don't know what they feel like. I have broken my nose apparently when I was a little kid, and I only know that because as an adult they told me that, "Oh, it looks like you broke your nose at some point." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah, don't remember that one." Though I suspect it was when I fell off my trike when I was a little kid and hit my face flat against the concrete and cried a lot. But I remember the incident, but I don't remember it being like, this is unbearable pain. It was just like, I'm sad because I'm a kid and I hit myself kind of pain. It might be a bit more than usual. But there you go. So we're going around. It doesn't look anything like a witch yet, does it? We've got a lot of pieces to go, but I think we're going to use up all the grey ones in one big go. I hope there's something that's going to go in the middle, because I feel like every time I see like an empty spot, I'm like, ooh. 17 minutes, we're going okay, So we got the pointless story about what's happening in my life out of the way. But the good things, of course, are that it means I've sort of had a little bit of a rest the last few days, and I'm sleeping with my legs elevated, both of them, and that's helping the actual injury in the right leg, which was the reason for me altering the way that I was running. Even though that was pretty much healing up, it kind of felt like it wasn't quite there, but it feels like it's got a bit more better, bit closer there. Word has failed me. And actually sleeping with that foot elevated is quite helpful for it, and is helping the right leg. So my left leg is the one that I twisted, and the right one is the one that's actually improving. So I've got to find out which is the way I was looking at this. Okay, we're back to here. So maybe I can go back to running my new normal style. I think I might try and run both styles and sort of alternate, because even though I don't like running on the back of my heel because it's just so, like, it pounds away and it's much harder to get into. It has lots and lots of disadvantages. The only advantage is, in general, it's better for your ankles if you don't trip up. So if I'd been running on the ball of my foot, I don't think I would have actually hurt myself anywhere nearly as much. I would have been fine. If I had done that with my right ankle, I wouldn't have had anything. I would have twisted it and then went meh and kept going, because my right ankle was pretty good when it comes to doing that kind of. I've twisted it many times, and so you don't really get the same impact as you do on my left hand one. Which is also the last time that I badly hurt my ankle. It was my left ankle when I was running, and that was just so I slipped off the side of the curb. But I didn't have to stop. I didn't actually have to stop running for that one. I was actually in a race and continued running after pausing for a moment. It did play up later on though, but it did heal up fine. So that taught me something. So if I'm going to continue running with the heel on my foot, I'm just going to make sure it's absolutely flat footpath stuff. Don't want to do any more injuries, but it's healing up quite well, I think, considering I continue to cycle on it and do exercise. My arm is feeling funny. I don't know why. I mean, the problem is my right arm, which is the one with the RSI, which I think is actually improving. Like, I can type now with my fancy new keyboard. And in fact, that seems to be the thing that does the least harm. But right now it feels funny, but it also feels funny exactly where I have a giant wound from falling over. And I also bumped the elbow, and there was like a lump on the elbow. And that seems to have healed up. So I can't actually tell if the funny feeling that I have in my arm is to do with the RSI that I've had, or if it's to do with the fact that I smashed it against the ground just recently onto the concrete. Because you can never really tell. I haven't got the eyes just right. I don't care. I don't care. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be right. This is actually meant to be This isn't specifically the Wizard of Oz witch. It's just a generic witch. It's just because, you know, they got the whole licensing thing. We know this because I went and got the collectible minifigures specifically for. But you didn't get a witch, though, in the collectible minifigures from the Lego movie. So that was sad. I think you have to get, like, that game one. Forgot the name of the game. Didn't last long, did it? I never had it. I don't have many Lego. I have a Lego Batman game for my PlayStation 2 that I haven't played yet. Which I got for like a couple of dollars, I think. That's the beauty of PlayStation 2 games, is that they're generally very cheap secondhand. Well, they're not that cheap. Like I think, you know, $4 is pretty expensive for a gaming console which is like almost 20 years old. So, you know, come on. And though the PS3 games aren't much better, they're more expensive, and I'm like, really, they're still pretty old, you know. It's still pretty old. I mean, I know that a PS3 is newer, then I shouldn't be complaining in that order. Right, so we're now doing the side bits. So this is actually really involved, more than I thought. So I've got to kind of think when I'm doing this. Is this like really worth it? Like, is this something that I really would like? Would get enjoyment from? I guess. Well, the build is fun enough, I guess. Like it's different. It's just that you spend so much time building, and it's only a little tiny thing. I think what's going to happen is, as we approach the end of it, there is going to be a deep sense of satisfaction. That's not the right piece. As it all comes together, and we can say, I love it when a plan comes together. I think I made that joke before. We've already made a A-Team joke before. There was an A-Team Lego thing, wasn't there? So that happened, wasn't there? There was. It's like it's hard to believe that would be true, because that literally makes no sense. But somewhere out there in somebody's 80s obsessed Lego world, that thing happened. Well, I mean, that would have been. I mean, I could have. That would, if I got like that minifigure or whatever was in that set. Well, it was just part of the game that you couldn't actually buy a figure, but you could play it in the game. I really wish I got an ET. Like, I have to say that I should have just gone out and spent money on bought an ET, because that would have been cool. And especially when I get my speak and spell out. Oh, I was gonna. That's what that thing is. Oh, I could do a video. I'm gonna do a video on that. It's not a speak and spell, but it's kind of a bit related. I do have a speak and spell, and I will bring it out and have fun with it, because it's fun. But I've got another cool thing, actually. so many things I haven't been doing because I've just been injuring myself and not feeling inspired enough to do a video. But I might get some guests in, and I might have some videos with other people soon. That will make things a bit more interesting. But you never know. And actually doing videos with people about like old stuff that they may not know about might be fun. But I would like to do some Lego board games with other people. It won't be fun to do that with no other people. Alright, so next bit. I was watching someone play a computer game thing tonight, and it was a 2-player only game. And it was like, well, this is kind of boring watching. Well, it's not boring, it was just kind of odd. I don't watch people normally playing video games. It was just a random thing that I saw. And they were playing a game, and I'm like, that's a bit weird. I mean, it's fun playing a game, and then you know, playing a game with somebody else. But playing a game that's meant to be played only with somebody else, but you don't have the somebody else, it's like, well, that's not porridge. Alright, so we're up. We're done. We haven't done this. No, we haven't. So I was almost missing this bit. How much time have we got? 9 minutes. Okay. I'm pretty sure the camera is fully charged, and we have lots of space. So I think I mentioned that I thought that the 29-minute limit on my camera was in fact to do with EU regulations, and it may be. I haven't really checked. But the other thing actually is possibly to do with the fact that the files that it makes always come up at just about 4 gigabytes. And so, which is probably around the point that a 32-bit number sounding very geeky for a kids channel, the maximum value of a 32-bit number, which is basically, this is the way computers store numbers, and they have to use bits, and the more bits you have, the bigger the number can be. And in this case, 32 is the number they've used, and the largest number is some number just over 4 billion, which means 4 gigabytes, so 4 billion bytes. And so that may be why it can only do it, because it can only store things, and it's like keep track of things that are up to 32 bits in length. So that might be the other reason. So it might not be the EU's fault after all. Why did I put? I did put 2. Okay, I was like, why did I put 2 of these together? Because that's what the instructions say. But I'm like looking at this going, well, there's not 2, there's only 1. And then there's also, because my 2 parts of my brain is saying, well, there's only 2. I don't know what that means. Okay, we have to finish this off because got a lot of these kind of brooms. This would have been kind of a better broom. So in the recent Pick a Brick episode, I got a lot of brooms, as you do, and they weren't this kind of broom. They were like the brooms from my childhood. These are the kind of brooms you want to sweep those leaves off the ground, that's for sure. You don't want those other kind of brooms that I just got a whole pile of. They aren't any good for sweeping the leaves. People who do that and they get those kind of brooms and they try and sweep leaves, they just drive me nuts. It's like, you need this kind of broom. Honestly, that's it. Other kinds of inside broom. It's not an outside broom. I've seen big ones that you can use, but they just don't work. You want this kind of broom. You know, I know people are saying, yeah, that's how I sweep my garden, my thing. I don't know. I'm not actually a big outdoor sweeper. It's just not my scene. It's not where I go. So we're on to the last bit. So we've actually built her, and that was quite fun. I gotta kind of have her sitting. It's like a bow tie or something. I've just got to have her sitting on the desk for a while to see how I feel about that. I guess if you have a whole bunch of these lined up on your, this is the kind of thing I think you have at your staff desk, at work, you know, in your office desk, that you can show people and say, well, you know, this identifies me. This tells you who I am. I'm the kind of person who has these things on my desk. You have a problem with that, then talk to management. And that's, I mean, it feels like these are really aimed at that kind of decorative, ideal, wrong word, thing. But 44. So just change the conversation because I ran out of things to say. And so what is this thing supposed to be? Oh, it's a seasonal picture. It's a little blockhead and a season. It looks like a little tape player. It's tape player seasonal, but it's not. It's quite neat. It's nice. It's nice to have those things. So there's definitely, this is playing to the collector people, which you should appeal to me because I'm the kind of person who collects a lot of bizarre things. But I always want to not do that. So that's probably not. You know, I'm always like, oh, I don't. Well, you're making me feel bad for doing these things. All right. So that was that. This is weird. I always felt really odd when you put a big circle thing onto 4 studs, but it does work. When was the last time I had a cauldron or a pot or like this? Don't know at all. It's got to have the bones in the middle. If only I had my giant bones from the last Pick-a-Brick thing. Alright. I don't know where I put those. That's the reason I'm not doing the Pick-a-Brick tonight, is that I couldn't find a plastic container to put everything in. Well, I could put them in the plastic container from the previous time, because I haven't used that one. That's an idea. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. So, how does this work? 4 minutes left. I feel like I'm going to run out of the time, even though this is the last thing. And then what? And then that one goes there. They are nice colors. Like, oh, I would love, this is what I want. I just want these colors. Just piles of them. Like the purple and whatever this is, lilac or something. I always think lilac's a greeny color. I think I mentioned this before, but I feel like that someone's going to call that lilac. I'll have to look it up. That was a word that was in that cryptic crossword. What are they called? Code crackers, crossword word thingies that I do. Lilac came up, which is why I felt the desperate need I think I've done this way wrong. It does not look like it does in the picture. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Alright, that goes there. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, come on. Yeah, every time a word that I don't use often comes up in those things, I very seldom feel the need to actually say it. It's too late. Finishing this off. This looks like this is going to make me feel uncomfortable. So that goes there, and then you have to put these pieces on, but none of these pieces actually secure it into place. And I feel like maybe it would be better to put those triangles on first and then put the rest of it on at the very end. Though they might not line up because they've got a lot of free play, don't they? Ah, it'll be fine. Okay. There we go. That worked out well, I think. Oh, wait, that's exactly... Oh, no, that's not what they said. No, 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 no. They want you to put the triangles in afterwards. I think the triangles should go in first. I stand by this. Alright, and then we have to put this on over. And look, they want you to do that and fiddle around with this while the cauldron is supposed to be sitting over here. I'm sure that would be frustrating. Alright. Oh no, I can hear my cat. She's very sad today. She keeps meowing outside, but she won't come near me. She's missing her brother, who I believe that's what she's doing, who died 3 years ago, and she hasn't done this for quite a while, but she's waiting for him to come out the front door, and he's not going to. So that's really sad. But she does seem very happy sometimes, and very friendly for a cat that I can't touch. But tonight she's just been sitting outside the front door, waiting for someone who's never going to come. So I don't know why I've got 2 of these left over. Where were they supposed to go? Oh dear. Right, well where would they go? I don't know where they would go. She looks fine. She looks fine. I don't think she needs them. Well, okay. That's all cool. What did I do with it? What did I do with the... I've lost it. Oh, there it is. What did I do with the pumpkin? Shame it's not an actual pumpkin piece. So there you go. That was fun. Finished it with 1 minute to spare. So that is the Witch Seasonal 31 for October Brick Headz thing. So I enjoyed that. I'm going to be honest. Unless I can get them for the same price, and even then, I'm probably... Sorry, I'm going to yawn. I probably would think about getting one for a cheaper price, but I can't imagine. I don't know. No, I don't know. Well, maybe a non-seasonal one. Like, I don't know. Santa would be fun. That'd be fun. That's what that'd just be fun. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, these go on. This goes here. Alright, so let's put this on in the right position. That's annoying. Okay, and then that goes there. Alright. So, yeah, that's alright. That's alright. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye.